Hello again. It's the grumpy old man here. Um, anyway, I just want to start by giving a major shout out to the Royal Shrewsbury Hospital. I know they've had some bad press over the years, but I am going to say today thank you so much for everybody there who got me through my MRI scan. So that lasted over an hour today, so I think they really deserve a shout out there to say how wonderful and how marvellous they were. I was very, very, very impressed. Secondly, today, here in this little town of Shrewsbury, we have the Queen's Consort, Camilla, making a visit to the much lauded flax mill, which apparently is one of the first skyscrapers, which I didn't know about. So there was a massive turnout in the town. Obviously, there's the usual, towns closed to traffic, etc. But, to be honest, I think rather than the flax mill and perhaps going to the market, which has actually won an award, which is great, and, all good for them, I just think sometimes it would be pretty decent if actual visits were taken to places like I say, like the hospital, just to see how hard these people work, and just to see the amount of pressure that they're under. Now, I was quite pleased, as I say, with the treatment I received today, and I realised just how stretched these folks are in the hospitals, the doctors, the nurses. They really are under pressure. So I think sometimes instead of going to some flax mill or a market hall, maybe the best visit for a royal would be to see actually what's going on in the NHS. So that's just my thought on it, my grumble anyway. Secondly, I was quite surprised as I wandered through town today. I don't think I've ever seen our town as clean as it was, or the windows washed as amazingly as they were, gleaming away. If it could only be like that all the time. So, I do wonder now how many of our politicians or MPs, etc., local MPs rather, will be tagging along to show their face just so you can get a photo opportunity now that Camilla is actually here in the town visiting. But anyway, that remains to be seen. Also, I noticed in the press recently that our wonderful Jeremy Hunt, of course, always in touch with the common man, was quite surprised that £100,000 salary per year seemed out of reach of most people, because he didn't consider it quite rather a high salary at all. I mean, I would love to see that salary, and I'm sure millions of other people would love to see £100,000 a year as their salary. Certainly, I've never seen that, and I don't think I'll ever likely to be able to see that sort of money in my pocket. But, again, it just shows you, doesn't it? You've got the societies is seen through the eyes of these people, through the privileged eyes of these people. Whether it's Hunt or Sunak, whoever, we've got to realise that these people see reality through a lens of privilege. They don't see it through a lens of struggling every day to pay bills, or a lens of how am I going to get by, or a lens of, they're suddenly off sick and they're struggling to make ends meet, or they're self-employed and they're working really hard, and yet you get kicked in the teeth when things go wrong. They don't see it through those lenses, the real lenses of people like you and I. They see it through the privileged lenses, the Eton educated, Oxford educated lenses, that they've been brought up with pretty much from, birth. So come on, let's not, believe anything they'll tell us, because they're seeing it through a completely different lens. And that's what we've got to realise. They may try and say that they're, they understand where we are, but the reality is they don't really. They don't, and there is no way they ever would see things like that. unless obviously everything was stripped away from them and taken away from them, and they were left in a complete mess, like they've left us after 14 years of their rule. So, as I say, I've got that off my chest, and I don't know whether it's, countrywide, but certainly, the pothole situation, it's everywhere, isn't it? It's ridiculous now. You couldn't make it up, could you? Some of these potholes you'd probably find in a third world country. The same with there's a bus service round here at the moment, and it's like, I don't know whether it's an on-demand one or what, but anyway, I know people who've been on it, and they've basically got these old red buses that drive around into the furthest parts of Shropshire, and I know somebody went on one, and it went over a bump, and they could see a panel in the middle of this bus lift up, so you could actually see, the actual axles underneath. Now, whether those buses were imported from somewhere overseas, I don't know. But certainly, it just brings to mind a late friend of mine, who used to say to me, "I believe this is a banana republic, this country. It's a banana republic." And you know what? That late friend of mine, I think, as I've looked over the years and seen the rapid decay and decline of the UK, I think he's probably right. Because now it seems to me that Britain is a banana republic. They go on and on and on about how it's improving, how things are getting better. But they're not. We see it on the front line, you and I, the people who are trying to make a living each day, who are trying to, pay the mortgage, who are trying to, feed the kids. The reality is, through the ordinary eyes of ordinary people, things are not getting better. If you start to earn, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be, disrespectful here, but it seems to me that as soon as you start to hit around 80,000, it doesn't matter whether you were once on 10 grand a year. It seems to me that as soon as you hit sort of the echelons of 80,000 a year, it's like your whole vision changes. That's only my own point of view. I mean, I might be wrong there, but as I say, it's just to say that, things are not getting better. We see it as it is. You got the whole nation, really, the roads are, full of potholes. You got Severn Trent, who've decided to up their bills more than inflation. And I've just walked down the road, I think it was last week and indeed this week. And there's a leak there running down the road. It's been reported. Nobody's out there to fix it. Do these people really deserve extra money? Really, these companies? And where will it go? It'll go to the bosses at the end of the year to give them a nice bonus. What about the people who are taking the phone calls, the people who are on the phone complaining that they can't pay their bills, or, as I say, reporting these leaks? I bet they won't get an extra pay rise, will they? No. Anyway, thanks again. Putting up with my rant, but I feel a lot better for doing so, and I hope it's cheered you up in a strange sort of way. Bye.